How's it going, everybody? This is Error and your captain here, bringing you another Magellan deck profile. This is the 4.5, and I've been testing the build, tinkering what to throw in with tech in with the new starter deck. I believe it's 10 with the 3 captains, and I came to a conclusion where it helped me win a tournament. I went to like somewhere in Arkansas and attended their locals, got first place, and I'll show you what I got from that tournament. They gave us a storage deck box for everybody because, Thanksgiving, which was nice. And this is what I got. 2 winter packs, sugar, and they gave us for first place, they gave me 5 packs. So out of those 5 packs, I pulled a Sugar, Doflamingo, Yamato, and Altar Who's Who, which is kind of sad because I actually bought the last one that I needed. But you know what? I could probably save this for grading purposes. And then they gave me a 3rd winter pack, and I pulled an Altar Tashigi, which was nice to wrap it all up. So let's go ahead and break this deck profile down. So we got the Magellan. So for our 7 drops, I run 4 Estes Captain Kid. If you don't know what he does, he's a 7-drop 8k, no counter, on play, when attacking, Dawn -1. Up to one of your leaders gains 1,000 power until the start of your next turn, which is very powerful with Magellan's effect. So he becomes a 7k attacker because his effect does go off. And people have been wondering, do these effects stack? And yes, if you have, say, 2, 3, or 4, you're winning. If you have 3 and they're still alive, you're automatically winning the game. And it's such a great card. Just one Estes Captain Kid is just such a great card on the field because you're automatically a 6k. So there you go. Newgate came back for that 1 month in a Magellan type of form. And since Red got nerfed, it just made Magellan a lot easier against that Zoro matchup. The only problem I'd say throughout this whole format, the only problem the deck had against a certain deck was most likely yellow, because you don't know if they just trigger sack from life or they get no triggers at all. If they just, have let's say they're 5 life, they heal 8 times, and if they get half 4 triggers out of those 8 lives, that's not a bad matchup. It just determines, if they played as well as they could out of those 4 triggers out of 8 lives, and if they didn't break or, variables. And we'll get into the rest of the deck. So I run 3 kings. At first, I did not run any kings in this build, but I have been playing quite a bit with the deck, and I came to a conclusion where there are certain 4 drops that you have to get rid of. If not, this deck just automatically lose. Where some, like the black cards, Saka's or Kuzan. Kuzan was your most problematic card against this deck. And Rebecca's 4 drop that you sack a character and you -4 to your opponent's character, and that just made it even worse. It automatically erased Kid off the field against the Rebecca. So running 3 of these was the best decision I've ever made. I wanted to run 4, but I just didn't find the room for it, and I was already running too many cards with non-counter. And then for every purple deck, you run 4 queen, just the staple of the deck. Luckily, got these. I've always been a purple main, and I already had 6 play sets of queens, so I was just sitting very comfortably. Luckily, I had just enough for all my purple decks. For all you purple mains, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then for the 2K counters, I run 4 X Drake. Again, a great card, especially going first. And if you don't have your Magellan, you can either go into Queen or X Drake. If you don't know what X Drake does, mostly every purple deck runs it. It's a 2K counter, on play, Dawn -1. Your opponent chooses what card to discard. Recently, Bandai has been releasing some cards with effects of the player gets to choose, not your opponent. So this needs to get errata. You know, all y'all purple players, harass Bandai and tell them to switch it up and switch it to we get to choose, the player. And then for our other 2K, two Khalifas, it's just a 2K, but you there are situations where you play it, but lately I have not played her, only used her as counter. But her effect is when attacking, -1 Dawn, draw 2 cards and trash 2. A queen. 4-drop, queen. It's, it's situational. You usually just save it, the 2K counter, once you get into your SS Captain Kid, and just, profit off that 2K counter when your leader becomes a 6K. And the tech that I've been running, and I'll explain why. 2 wires, it's a 3-drop, 3K, 1K counter, blocker effect. Once per turn, when a Dawn card on the field is returned to the deck, draw 1 card and trash 1. Really, really helps filtering out your deck, because sadly Magellan doesn't have like a lot of draw power in its engine, especially with its Impel Down package. This really helps. If you go first, turn 2, you drop wire. Let's say you draw into Magellan or Queen, X Drake. You get to draw 1 card and pitch 1. This effect should have been for the 1-drop Impel Down stage event. That stage event should have had this effect, and this effect should have had the stage cost 1 stage of the Impel Down. You know what I mean? Hopefully I'm saying what I'm saying in my head is right, because my dyslexia, I can't say words for shit. That's the pirate life. Who can read? No one can. I can't. So, for the next 3-drop that we replaced with Mina Rhinoceros, at first I was running it, but it was just too many non-counter cards in my deck. So I replaced the Mina Rhinoceros 3. I had 4. I replaced 3 of them with 3 kings, 1 wire, and a wire was replaced for something in this deck. I can't remember what else. But Heat, such a great card in Magellan. If you can't play this, you play Heat, and then go into your 5-drops cards that are, staple in the Magellan deck for your on-curve. And its effect is your turn once per turn. When a Dawn card is on the field, is returned to the Dawn deck, this character gains +2 till the start of your next turn. Boom. Newgate Whitebeard cannot die. It comes back as a purple leader. It comes back as a character leader. The fuck you do, Bandai? Shit. And then, for the rest of our non-Impel Down package, we have 4 Gum Gum Gatlets. A really great card, especially with all the non-counters. And we'll bundle all these non-counters up and show you what else we're running. And I'll put that off to the side right here. And I'll just do another layout of what else we're running. And then for our Impel Down package, for Magellans, sadly, I did not pick up the alt-arts like a good purple player main should have. I just picked up all the SRs because, you know, they're like less than $1 at the time. So we have 4 Magellans on play. It's a 5-drop 6K for your on curve going first on play. Dawn -1, your opponent minus a Dawn, and you yourself minus a Dawn. And when this character is KO'd on your opponent's turn, your opponent minuses 2 Dawns. So if you attack and it gets Gum Gat or Jet Pistoled or Thunderbolt or whatever card that, you know, kills a character that's a 6 cost, the effect does not go off. And for our 4 drops now for the Impel Down package, I run 2 4-drop 5K 1K counter Mina Koala. It's a blocker on KO, you ramp a Dawn. And then our other Jailer Beast Impel Down 4-drop 5K counter 1K block. It's a banisher effect, great against the yellow matchup or, you know, just any deck. Banish is such a great effect. So if it hits, the effect doesn't go off. Your opponent's trigger does not go off. So if it was a Jet Pistol, Thunderbolt, etc., Magellan stays alive and the effect does not go off. On KO, ramp. Then for our 3 drops, I run 4 Lil Sadi. Its on play is play a Jailer Beast from hand onto the field. Don't really use the effect that much. Maybe against the red decks like Zoro or, you know, Law. But luckily, the card that I run in here, the situation that I always run into, never need it. And then 3 Domino, now I remember, did cut I had 4 Domino, cut one of them for the wire. A blocker for a blocker, but a blocker with the effect of cycling through your deck a little more consistently. And then 4 Judgments of Hell. I was gonna run 3, but just 4, you have to. More targets for our all-star of the deck. Hannibal. Searches our Magellans. Anything in our Impel Down package. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 cards, 19 targets for Hannibal to hit. And especially in situations, you can search for Judgment of Hell and it just saves you. It saves you from matches that you could almost lose. So, great card. Now, we'll show you the ratios of what we have. So here it is. Here are our trigger lineup. And for our non-counters, we run 3, 7, 11, 14 is a possibility that you run 14 non-counters because, again, you have to leave 2 Dawn open for Judgment of Hell. And there are certain situations where Judgment of Hell will be dead in your hand. And this is where Gum Gatling comes in handy. I didn't explain what it does, but for 0 Dawn, counter, trash 1 card from your hand, up to 1 leader or your character gains 3k power. Since you run 11 to 14 non-counter cards, depending on the situation, this helps a lot. There are situations where you just might have to Gum Gatling for Gum Gatling. And then for our blockers, we run 3, 5, 7, 11. 11 blockers. So we got the 2 drops, the 3 drops, the 4 drops, and the 5 drops. We got all the blockers covered for any point in the game that we just need to start throwing out stuff. So we can throw a 3 drop, a 4 drop, and a 2 drop when we have 10 drop, and we'll have 1 Dawn up for, you know, a Hannibal to search for a 2K or whatever you need in that situation. And then for our 1K counters, we run 4, 8, 10 1K counters. And for our 2K counters, there is 10. So there you go. That is the deck profile for the Magellan 4.5. I feel like Magellan kind of has a decent matchup in set 5. But, you know, when set 5 drops, everyone's going to be playing the new decks. Magellan's been out since set 2, so there might be a lot of players that might be jumping off the Magellan train since 4.5 is going to be out on when December 8 hits. Set 5 will be legal, but these were the tournament results when I got first place. And I gotta say, very fun deck. Very fun deck. But let me know what your deck build is in the comments, what you would run, what you would take out. Would you run more Jailer Beast package? Because I've seen deck profiles where the highest amount of Impel Down cards I've seen was 23 to 20. So I just knocked it down to 19. And it just fit perfectly well for what I was running. Other than that, if you're new to the channel and you like the deck profile and enjoyed the video, hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think of this deck profile of Magellan. One of my favorite decks from set 2 and throughout this whole format. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.